Hello friends, welcome back. In this lesson we shall be looking at remedies which will be of use in case of animal bites and insect stings. We will first start with some red line symptoms, the red flags which you should be careful and refer the person to a professional medical doctor. First of all, in any animal bite there is always the danger of rabies and tetanus. What you must do as a first aid is clean the wound with soap and water, and it should be a thorough wash. Recommended period is at least 5 minutes of washing. And put a sterile bandage after that. Now here are the red flags for insect stings. Some individuals are allergenic to insect stings and they may go into an anaphylactic shock. These can be recognized as symptoms which include swelling of the eyes, lips, tongue, throat, difficulty in breathing, coughing, wheezing, and being anxious, developing a weakness, feeling dizzy, having nausea and vomiting, or a general sense of collapse and even unconsciousness. You must take the person to a proper qualified medical doctor. The four principal remedies that could help you to help a person in such a situation are Apis, which is a remedy prepared from the honeybee; Cantharis, which is prepared from the Spanish fly, another insect; Hypericum is prepared from St. John's wort. It is from the plant kingdom. And Ledum, once again from the plant kingdom, and it is often known popularly as marsh tea or Labrador marsh tea. Ledum is the first remedy that you should use in case of any puncture wound. It need not be an animal or insect bite or sting. If somebody has driven a nail into some part of the body, the first remedy that should come to your mind is Ledum. And it is also the number one remedy in case of animal bites and insect stings. So we'll begin this presentation with Ledum. Let us now look at the principal symptoms of Ledum as far as stings and bites are concerned. It must be remembered that bites of rat, cat, dog, insects, scorpions, fleas, etc. You must look at the red flag symptoms mentioned earlier. At the same time, as a first aid, you can immediately give Ledum after taking the necessary precaution of cleaning the wound. Ledum is very handy when the symptoms are on the skin and they manifest as pale and watery swellings. They may at times be red. The principal sensation is that the part where the injury has occurred will feel cold. And even though these parts feel cold, the person will be happier or will be better with cold applications. So this is as far as Ledum is concerned. When we do the materia medica, we'll see that Ledum has got many more applications. Hypericum is the next remedy that we consider, and Hypericum, as we have seen, is one remedy which is most useful if there is any injury or there is a problem with parts of the body which are rich in nerves. So areas which are rich in nerves are lips, fingertips, toes, nails. So whether it's an injury, and in this case what we are considering in this lesson is bites and stings. So Hypericum is extremely good. It follows Ledum if it is accompanied with tingling and numbness. So Ledum was the remedy of choice for any puncture wound, and if you don't see much improvement, you can always follow it up with Hypericum if you see the symptoms mentioned in this particular slide. One interesting sensation is that the person will complain that the pain is shooting up the nerves. So if there is some injury or a bite on the fingertip, it will feel as if it's moving up the arm. They are worse cold, which is exactly the opposite of Ledum, where we saw that ledum, even though the parts may feel cold, they desire to have some cold application. So remember, this is another remedy which is useful in tetanus. So that brings us to the end of the description of hypericum as far as bites and stings is concerned. The next important remedy for bites and stings is apis. Apis principally is for insect stings, and the location where the stinging has happened is having a burning sensation, and it also has a stingy pain. There will be a swelling which will be rose colored or pink. It will be hot and it will be angry, which means it will come up suddenly. And this swelling is sensitive to touch. Apis is required when the person feels better or is ameliorated by cold application, such as a cold pad or running water or whatever. Remember one thing, if the pain is relieved by heat, then apis is not the remedy. That brings us to the end of apis symptoms for bites and stings. The next principal remedy is cantharis. Cantharis can develop blisters on the skin, which will itch. They can be vesicles. In other words, those blisters may be filled with a watery substance. You must also remember that the principal sensation for cantharis is a violent burning and pain. It is worse from touch, but it is better rubbing. That's an interesting symptom, because it doesn't like to be touched, but it doesn't mind if it is being rubbed. And this is because there is an itchiness involved in its symptomatology. Coffee aggravates, and it is the best remedy for burns, as we shall see later in the injuries and burns section. That brings us to the end of the summary of symptoms of cantharis for bites and stings. Let us now look at some other secondary remedies which can provide relief. The first one is arnica lotion or arnica cream. Arnica, as you know, is a general injuries remedy, very useful, particularly in bruises. But this cream or lotion can be applied topically for some relief. Similarly, there's another ointment or cream available in the market, and it goes by the name Hypercal, and it's a mixture of hypericum and calendula. It's also quite effective for local application. Yet another method of providing relief is to smell camphor. Olfaction, as it is called, it's a very old herbalist way of overcoming such incidents of bites and stings. So arnica, hypercal, and smelling camphor. Camphor is not to be taken internally or applied locally. It is only to be smelled. So friends, in this lesson for bites and stings, we have considered 4 principal remedies: apis, cantharis, hypericum, and ledum. And we have also seen some secondary remedies such as arnica cream or lotion, hypercal lotion or cream, ointment, and smelling camphor. So friends, that brings me to the end of this lesson. Thank you very much for your attention, and we shall meet once again in the next lesson. And until then, bye bye and thank you very much.